Writer's block is no joke, guys, so today we are doing part 2 of my top 10 tips for overcoming writer's block. Hey guys, if you don't know me, my name is Brittany Wang. I'm an aspiring author of a YA fantasy novel, and as I said before, today we are doing 5 more tips about how to overcome writer's block. If you missed the first video, I will definitely link into the cards and down below, but I didn't record them in any particular order, so just make sure to watch both of them to get all 10 tips. And without further ado, tip number 6, this is gonna be awkward, guys. Talk about your story out loud. Oh my gosh, this was huge for me recently. Now, I am very blessed to have plenty of online friends that I chat with about writing and my story like all the time. By the way, if you guys are watching right now, do me a favor and say I love writing community in the comments so I know you're here. Anyway, you know I love you guys. But last week I tried something different. I tried talking out my plot and my story and all the issues I was having with my husband out loud, and wow. When you're talking out loud, you can't hide behind that delete button and take forever to make something sound really good. Instead, you find out real quick where your story is strong, what you say naturally that your listener is instantly intrigued by, where it's weak, where you stumble over explaining and the person that's listening sort of gets that glazed look in their eye. And if they're really helpful, they might even offer some great ideas that you haven't thought of before. Now, not every person is gonna fit the bill for this exercise, but if you can find someone that really likes to read or at least enjoys stories in some form, someone you can trust, and someone who loves you but can honestly be really objective and give you some constructive criticism, which somehow my husband is to a T, then this method might help you really find that breakthrough you've been looking for. Now, some of you might be thinking, Brittany, I'm an introvert. That's why I write. I don't want to talk to people. I understand, but I would still say just try it. Believe it or not, I'm an introvert too, so I know how you're feeling. I would still try it, but here's an alternative. Take out your phone, take out the voice recorder app, and talk to yourself instead. By doing this, you'll still be able to tell which parts of your story come naturally off the tongue, which parts are hard and you probably have to revisit, and talking out loud, you'll still probably come up with new ideas and different things because you're using a different part of your brain. All right, number 7, get an accountability partner. Again, having someone to bounce ideas off of is invaluable, but I'd also suggest finding someone that will keep bugging you and will keep asking you how your writing is going. I guess this is a really great motivator because when you know someone's gonna ask you if you made any progress, you sort of want to have some progress to talk to them about. And when you don't have it, you feel really terrible about yourself. I found that the most effective accountability partner to have is a fellow writer who is also going through their own work in progress, and you guys are setting goals together and deadlines and checking in with each other. Now, if you're thinking, Brittany, how do I find these writerly friends that actually care about me and my story and want to help me stay accountable? Well, I'm planning on making a video in the future about how to find writerly support and writerly community online. So if that's something that's interesting to you, definitely let me know in the comments so I know that that's a video you want me to make. In the meantime, there's plenty of places like on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. There are whole Facebook groups that are dedicated to writers. In fact, I host one called the Plotter Life Writers Community, and if you're looking for accountability, we have weekly check-ins and we'd love to have you. Tip number 8, try creating a writing playlist. Let's be honest, sometimes we need a kickstart in our inspiration and the ambient noise of our homes is not doing us any favors. We're trying to write that really emotional chapter or figure out that plot twist, and the rumble of the laundry machine is just not helping. For this situation, I would suggest taking a little bit of time to create a playlist of instrumental tracks that match the tone of your story or the scene you're trying to work on. When I've done this, it really helps me see my story as more like a movie with this epic soundtrack, and it really motivates me to stay in the zone and somehow helps me capture this mood I really want to create. Now, if you don't want to go through all the trouble of creating your own playlist right now, I will link a few in the description that I found helpful and even one that I've created myself. Tip number 9, learn to be okay with terrible first drafts. I'm still learning this one myself as I'm sort of a perfectionist and don't like wasting time. I don't want to write 50,000 words that I'm never going to use, but I keep having to remind myself that that's what the editing and revising stage is for. And as the popular writing quote says, you can't edit a blank page. Supposedly, everyone's first draft is terrible, so don't feel alone. And something else I was told that I found really helpful is look at the first draft as a place to really get to know your characters and experience your story for yourself. Take time to tell the story to yourself before you tell it to anybody else. And this leads us to tip number 10, which is very important. Don't forget to get back to writing. Definitely take a bunch of these tips and try them, but if you never get back to actually writing, you'll never get anywhere with your story. And yes, I am preaching to myself, preaching to the choir here. One of the most helpful ways I've found to push through and write no matter what is to do word sprints on my own or with others. If you don't know what a word sprint is, basically you pick an amount of time you want to write, set a timer, and then don't stop writing and don't stop to edit until the timer runs out. Then you can go back and clean up anything you need to, or you can just decide to sprint again and again and again. Like I said before, you can do this with friends, have some accountability, and then afterwards you can tell each other how much you wrote. If you're looking for friends to do this with, just search word sprints on Twitter or Instagram, and chances are you'll find a live word sprint happening at some point and you can just jump in. Or you can message me on either of those platforms and we can get one going. Okay, now that you've learned my top 10 tips, it's time to take some action. We're gonna take a page from tip number 7 and get some accountability in here and have you guys comment below, what tip are you going to try? I hope from my videos that you don't just take in information, but you actually take action. So once you've tried that tip, come back to this video, let me know how it went. And of course, we'd all love to hear if any of you have any other tips about how to overcome writer's block. You guys know I'm all about writer community, so let's get helping each other out in the comments. Like this video and share it if it really helped you. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for weekly writer advice, challenges, and community. See you guys in next week's video, and until then, happy writing.